Hi everybody, Ms. Lee here. Today we're going to be talking about solving equations. So in this first video, I'm going to tell you about the four basic types that we're going to go through, and then I'm going to go over two of those types, and then you'll do some practice problems, and then you're going to see me again. So go ahead and title your page Solving Equations. Oopsies. And we're going to have four basic types that we're working with in this class. Okay, and so the four types are going to be, the first one is log on one side. The second one is log on both sides. And then there is exponential when it's the same base. And then we have exponential when there's different base. Okay, so the first type we're going to go through is log on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and do an example of that. So for example, we're going to solve for x, given that we have log of 5x minus 6 equals 2. So my question for you is, when it says log of 5x minus 6 and there is no base, what base do we have to imply is there? Well, that would be a base of 10. And so then you have to think about this as a base of 10. And your steps for doing this would be to find a way to isolate the x. And so if we want to algebraically isolate the x, we want to get rid of the log. But you can't divide by log, or you can't, just undo it just by like getting rid of it. You have to rewrite it without the log. So the first step would be to rewrite this in exponential form. So we have 10 to the 2 equals, and then 5x minus 6. So you do 10 to the other side and then equals the argument there. So 10 to the 2 equals 5x minus 6, and then we just solve algebraically. So to get rid of that 6 and the 5, we just do basic opposite operations. And so over here, 100 or 10 squared is 100. So we have 100 equals 5x minus 6. You're going to want to add the 6 to both sides. So we add 6 to both sides. And we have 106 equals 5x. And then you divide both sides by 5. And so this is basic algebra. And so we get x equals 106 over 5. Okay, so do you remember from solving radical equations if this is our last step? Well, I hope you remember that this is not your last step. You are still supposed to check your work. Okay, so always check your work. And so we plug this back into the original equation, and then we check. So we have log of 5x minus 6, does that equal 2? I'm sorry, log of 5 times 106 over 5 minus 6, does that equal 2? Well, the 5's cancel, or 1 out. So the 5's cancel, or 1 out. These 5 over 5 is just 1, and so we're left with log of 106 minus 6, and we're asking, does that equal 2? So question mark, does that equal 2? Well, log of 100, does that equal 2? Well, does 10 to the 2 power equal 100? Well, yes, it does, and you can check that in your calculator. And so x equals 106 over 5.